December 19th, 1983, 6:47 a.m., Las Vegas. FBI Special Agent Michael Wax watched technicians remove hidden microphones from the Tropicana counting room. 3 years of recordings and financial records showed that the Kansas City mob had skimmed more than $280 million from Las Vegas casinos in 7 years. The operation was directed from Kansas City, Missouri, a city many Americans considered flyover country. The Civella family was no minor cruise serving New York or Chicago. Its reach extended from the Missouri River to the Las Vegas Strip through casino executives, union leaders, judges, politicians, officers, and police chiefs. For 4 decades, it worked quietly while federal agents pursued more famous families. This is how Nick Civella turned a Midwestern racket into a casino empire, divided untaxed cash nationwide, and faced Operation Strawman, one of the largest organized crime cases of the 1980s. Kansas City avoided publicity and controlled cash flow. Nicholas Civella was born in 1912 in Kansas City's North End, a close Sicilian immigrant community. His father owned a grocery, his mother spoke limited English, and the neighborhood followed old country rules: protect your own, settle problems privately, and never talk to outsiders. By 15, Nick ran basement dice games. By 18, he hijacked trucks. Unlike many young criminals of the 1930s, Civella wanted to be the quiet connector everyone needed, not the toughest man in the room. Prohibition's criminal structure survived after liquor became legal, and political boss Tom Pendergast worked with organized crime. Gambling rooms, brothels, and clubs operated with paid police and cooperative judges. Nick studied Johnny Lazia, the city's leading Italian mobster who delivered votes for Pendergast. When Lazia was shot outside his apartment in 1934, Nick learned that publicity was dangerous. Lazia wore costly suits, drove impressive cars, and appeared in newspapers. 3 gunmen killed him with 8 bullets. Civella chose a lower profile. During the 1940s, he expanded bookmaking, dice, cards, slots, gambling wire services, and high-interest loans across Kansas City and its suburbs. Nick left violence to feared enforcer Willie Camisano and handled strategy. By 1950, at 38, Civella controlled Kansas City, organized crime through politicians, police captains, union officials, and business owners. Acting like a banker, he solved problems and collected what people owed. Truckers and traveling salesmen supplied steady customers. His betting network handled about $25 million a year and earned roughly $3 million, worth many times more today. Loan sharking was simpler. Borrow $10,000 on Monday and owe $11,000 by Friday. Mispayments, and Camisano might break a hand, burn a business, or make the debtor disappear. Civella knew local gambling had limits. Lasting wealth required legitimate business infiltration, and Las Vegas offered it. Bugsy Siegel's Flamingo opened in 1946, followed by the Thunderbird, Desert Inn, Sands, and other casinos needing huge loans and state licenses. Nevada regulators rejected known mobsters but approved clean businessmen secretly backed by them. Kansas City controlled Teamsters Local 41 and influenced the Central States Pension Fund, a vast pool of union money. Civella built relationships with Jimmy Hoffa and other Teamsters officials. Pension loans financed casinos, while Kansas City gained hidden interests, silent partnerships, and access to the skim. Before revenue was officially counted, trusted employees removed cash that was never reported, taxed, or recorded. During the 1960s, Kansas City installed associates as managers, shift bosses, and counting room supervisors who answered to Civella. The Tropicana became Kansas City's crown jewel through front owners and Teamsters financing. Joe Agosto officially booked performers as entertainment director, but secretly supervised the skim. Each day, an estimated $40,000 to $80,000 left in suitcases and traveled to Kansas City on commercial flights. In the late 1970s, the Tropicana reportedly earned around $400,000 daily, but declared about $320,000. The missing $80,000 equaled $29.2 million a year. Kansas City also shared skims from the Stardust, Fremont, and other casinos. Total annual proceeds were estimated near $40 million. Kansas City kept about 40%, while Chicago, Cleveland, and Milwaukee received shares. It was a criminal corporation directed by Civella. One cooperating employee could destroy the system, so Civella relied on blood ties. His brother Cork ran daily operations, nephew Anthony trained for leadership, Carl DeLuna handled casino matters, and Tuffy DeLuna handled enforcement. Political protection was essential. Civella's reach extended to senior police officials. Clarence Kelly served as Kansas City police chief from 1961 to 1973 before becoming FBI director, while the mob continued operating. After he left, corruption became more open. Paid officers warned of raids, destroyed evidence, and intimidated witnesses. Council members received campaign support from mob-connected businesses, judges took cash, and union leaders received no-show jobs or jobs for relatives. In 1971, a federal grand jury indicted Civella for interstate gambling conspiracy. Wiretaps, surveillance, and informant testimony produced a conviction and 4-year sentence. He served about 30 months at Leavenworth, yet messages passed through his lawyer and visits from Cork. The money continued because the organization worked like a business. Removing the boss allowed another manager to take over. When Civella returned in 1975, the empire was more profitable. The Tropicana scheme reportedly exceeded $30 million annually, and Teamsters financed casinos created new opportunities. At 63, Nick held private meetings at his ranch, dressed conservatively, drove modestly, and appeared respectable. The FBI was changing too. Agents trained in finance and electronic surveillance followed money instead of guns. In 1978, Operation Strawman united investigators in Las Vegas, Kansas City, Chicago, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. Agents identified casino employees removing money, followed couriers, and traced cash from counting rooms to mob bosses. They planted bugs in Tropicana offices, Joe Agosto's Las Vegas home, Carl DeLuna's Kansas City residence, and the Villa Capri restaurant, where Civella's circle met. From 1978 through 1981, the FBI recorded thousands of hours. Mobsters discussed amounts, divided proceeds, named partners, planned crimes, and admitted their roles. Civella's own careful voice became direct evidence. In 1981, coordinated raids struck 5 cities. 63 people were indicted, including Kansas City leaders, Las Vegas executives, counting room employees, couriers, and mob figures in Cleveland and Milwaukee. Civella faced charges of casino skimming conspiracy, interstate transportation of stolen property, and operating an illegal gambling business. Prosecutors had about 100 recorded conversations, financial records, and cooperating casino employees. Civella never reached trial. On March 12, 1983, he died of lung cancer at his Kansas City home at age 71. He had smoked 3 packs a day for 50 years. The cancer spread to his bones, leaving him bedridden, painfully thin, and watching his empire collapse. Trials began in 1985. Facing life imprisonment, Joe Agosto became a government witness and explained the scheme in detail, supported by tapes and records. Carl DeLuna received 30 years. Tuffy DeLuna received 20. Anthony Civella received 15. More than 40 mobsters were convicted, with combined sentences exceeding 500 years. The government seized casinos, homes, businesses, accounts, and assets. More than $280 million had been skimmed between 1974 and 1983. The IRS pursued over $400 million in taxes, penalties, and interest. Estates collapsed, families lost homes, and mob-financed businesses were forfeited. The Kansas City family never recovered. Its leaders were dead, imprisoned, or cooperating. Independent operators took over some gambling, honest officers closed other operations, loan sharking declined, and the political network broke apart as council members and police faced prosecution. By 1990, the traditional Kansas City Mafia was functionally extinct. Cork Civella died of a heart attack in 1994 after watching the empire disappear. Willie Camisano died in prison in 1995 while serving a racketeering sentence. Joe Agosto entered witness protection and died in 2012 under another identity at an undisclosed location. The Villa Capri was demolished in 1998, leaving a parking lot. The Tropicana passed through new owners, renovations, and corporate control. The old scheme became nearly impossible because modern casinos use computerized accounting, digital surveillance, and stronger regulation to track every dollar. Kansas City proved location did not determine criminal power. New York had the reputation, but Kansas City controlled enormous revenue. Families focused on dependable income often outlasted those seeking attention. Civella's lack of fame compared with Al Capone or John Gotti helped him operate for 4 decades. His organization used modern business methods, diversified income, systems that survived arrests, and long-term relationships instead of quick robberies. Fear supported Civella, but he operated like a chief executive. Technology ended that advantage. Hidden microphones and financial surveillance turned private conversations into evidence and secret cash into documented conspiracy. Threatening witnesses and bribing local police could not defeat federal RICO cases built on years of recordings. The corruption reached police leadership, courts, city government, labor unions, and famous casinos. For decades, the mob functioned as a shadow government, and people who lived through it remain alive. The Central States Pension Fund, which helped finance Las Vegas expansion, was placed under government oversight in 1982. The reforms came too late to prevent billions in questionable or fraudulent loans, but ended the mob's ability to use workers' retirement money as a criminal bank. Operation Strawman and the Kansas City prosecutions helped force that change. Today, Civella's North End is gentrified. Social clubs are gone, younger generations move to the suburbs, and the protective culture faded. The FBI uses Operation Strawman records for training, while law schools study its RICO prosecution. Nick Civella built an empire from local gambling, expanded it into a multi-state casino conspiracy, generated hundreds of millions in illegal profits, and corrupted much of a city's power structure. For 40 years, he remained largely beyond law enforcement's reach. Federal patience, technology, financial evidence, and conspiracy laws eventually destroyed everything. The pattern repeats throughout organized crime history: build quietly, prosper in darkness, and assume distance from the spotlight offers protection. Kansas City was wrong. The spotlight simply took longer to arrive.
If you want more deep dives into hidden worlds like this, subscribe now and don't miss the next story.